WWE Raw in Glasgow was an absolute stinker, but was it the stinkiest Raw of all time? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. We are here to answer that question almost a full week after the Monday Night Raw, almost a full week after another disappointing John Cena promo. We're less than 24 hours away, about 12 hours away from probably the exact same John Cena promo that we're going to get in London. But before we get that, we need to find out the answer. We need to ask the question, was Raw in Glasgow the worst WWE Raw ever?
I think it was, personally. I've seen a lot of Monday Night Raws. There's been... How many Raws has there been? I mean, there's almost been 2,000 Raws.
Well, when was Raw 1000?
Actually, no, it wouldn't be 2,000 Raws. I would say they're probably about 1,600, 1,700, something in that ballpark.
When was Raw 1000?
2012. 2025 we're in.
Aye, well, we're not near 2000, but we're getting, there's been a lot, right? That's the point, there's been a lot.
Tell you what, there's a case that there's been more bad than good.
Yeah, look, there's been 662 votes in this poll, and 62% are saying yes, it was the worst Raw. 38% are saying no, it wasn't. Now, for me, how would I narrow this down? I mean, first of all, I think you need to ask yourself, was it the worst Raw of the Netflix era? Can we say yes?
Yes, I think we can.
Well, if we can't say yes to that, then there's no point in this poll even being up, so it must be the worst Raw of the Netflix era.
Yeah, well, the only one I think that would come close is maybe the premiere. And the only reason I would say the premiere is because there was so much hype and it just flopped, and they went more with like marketing rather than actually booking a show. But in terms of just absolutely
selling out, promoting, all that bullshit.
In terms of actually just like producing a shit show, this one takes it. Yo, I wish I could sit here and say, yeah, they came to Glasgow and they delivered. Great to see a good show in the Hydro. But it was wank.
Why I think it could be one of the worst Raws ever, because it's all about the era as well. You have to accept, right, and understand that wrestling is fucking shite. And yes, it's been shite for a very long time, and we're not like a lot of these YouTubers that are pretending, or a lot of these guys on here that are somehow pretending that a year ago WWE was great, and now it sucks. We've been, shooting from day one that this product, ever since we've been on here, wrestling's been crap. Now, has it got worse in the last 5 years? I'd say yes, absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Raw was great 2 years ago, or Raw was great 3 years ago, or that Raw and WWE only declined after McMahon left, because WWE's been on the decline now for almost 20 years. For almost 2 decades, WWE has been getting worse.
Yeah,
we're getting close to 2 decades.
Yeah, easily, and that's a trend. That's not a coincidence.
And for me, people will disagree, but the best show that WWE can produce in 2025 won't be as good as the worst show in the Attitude Era, because it was a better era. Yeah. It was a fucking better era.
Yeah, we've seen people comment, oh, but what about the episode where Mae Young gave birth to a hand, right? Can't remember the episode off my heart, right? But I can guarantee you that you got some good shit. Other than that, and that's a bit of comedy, man. Is it retarded? Absolutely. But you know what also is fucking retarded? Pretty much everything you get in this show. So what's the fucking difference? I'd rather actually a bit of intended comedy rather than shit.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that TNA could deliver... That TNA in 2025 could deliver a good show, but it's probably... The best episode of TNA that we've seen in the past year probably isn't as good as the worst episode of TNA in, 2009.
Yeah.
Just because the era TNA was in and the star-studded roster that they had. And the same applies to WWE.
People need to realise that. They need to, and you're right, worst Raw of the Netflix era, and it was literally just a repeat of what happened in Brussels. But obviously, Brussels was shite, so repeating the same shite isn't going to be any good. And I wouldn't be surprised if London just does the same stuff tomorrow, later on the night, whenever you're watching this. It will. It will. It was, man.
I just refuse to believe that a Raw with JR and King on commentary, a Raw with Austin and Taker and Rock would be worse. Well, you know, a Raw with fucking actual entertainment and fast-paced matches and quick fucking segments from start to finish and pacing that was actually good rather than this drawn-out, boring shite we get now. The best Raw in 2025 will not come close to the worst Raw of, let's say, 2000 or 2001. The worst Raw of 2001 will absolutely smoke the best Raw of 2025. I can say that for a fact.
Fucking absolutely, man.
Unless something drastically changes from now to the end of the year.
Oh, aye.
And I don't even think that's possible. Because the era we're in, there's no stars. To rebuild wrestling, it's going to take years, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a great... See, it's impossible. It is impossible for the upcoming WWE Raw in London to be the best Raw of all time, or to be in the top 10 Raws of all time. It can't happen. They're not in the era to make it happen. They don't have the stars available to make it happen. They don't have the format or the formula to make it happen.
They don't have the capabilities. They don't have the ability. They've got nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it.
You got nothing. I mean, honestly, what it would take, you're right, it takes years, but also takes fresh ideas. It would need to be... You would need to, like, release everybody, or release the entire writing team and just come up with something from scratch. It's never going to happen. It can't happen, and let's talk about this Raw. Glasgow.
So, like, I can't sit and say it's the worst Raw ever, because I cannot remember every single Raw. But it was a shite show, and I'll stand by that. And I will say that there was not a single Attitude Era Raw that was worse than this. Not
Fucking absolutely.
Impossible. It couldn't happen.
No. And honestly,
there would not have been a Ruthless Aggression Era Raw worse than this.
I watched every Raw. I've pretty much... I tell you what. I've borderline watched, like, every Monday Night Raw. From, like, September 95 right through to... Well, we are in 03, and then you factor in I've watched loads and, throughout the 2000s. I'd say I've probably watched about 75% of every Monday Night Raw.
And does one come close to this? Or does one stick out like this?
No, honestly. No, I can't speak for like 93 or 94.
Yeah, but all the Raws that do come close to this are recent ones.
Yeah. No, absolutely. None in the 90s, none in the 2000s.
It's just mad that people think that there was Raws with Stone Cold Steve Austin and top that were as bad as this.
Yeah.
Not a fucking chance. Right, let's get into it. Shubadevi said, "Shut up, bitch, The Rock." Don't know if he's talking about us, but
he might be.
Here, see your little hero, see The Rock? He's a fucking loser. He's a sellout. See the guy that we used to have back in the day? That's not the same guy we've got now. We used to have The Rock. See now? We've got Dwayne Johnson. Big difference. Palatine Rock says, absolutely not. There have been way worse Raws. The absolute worst one I remember is the Mae Young Hand episode. It was a horrible episode overall, even if there was no hand birth. Right, I did reply to this because I honestly can't remember exactly what happened during that Mae Young Hand episode, but I just know for a fact that episode would have been better because of the era it was in. Said here, not a chance that could be the worst Raw ever purely for the era alone. Guy replies, just because it's the Attitude Era doesn't make it impossible to be worse. To which I replied, actually it does when you consider how bad wrestling has got. A bad Attitude Era Raw blows away a great current era Raw, and I stand by that to the end of times.
Right, well, let's actually listen to some of the matches we had here, right? On the 28th of February 2000, when...
Is this the hand one?
Yes, when she gave birth. So, with the Hardy Boys defeating the Acolytes, Rikishi defeated Kurt Angle for the European Championship, Christian and Edge defeated Head Cheese, The Rock defeated the Brooklyn Brawler, Chris Jericho defeated Perry Saturn, Crash Holly and Mark Henry ended in a no contest with Mae Young, Taz defeated Benoit, the Dudley Boys defeated Well, no, them and D-Generation X ended in no contest, and then you also had The Rock defeating The Big Show and Triple H in a 2-on-1 handicap match. So The Rock had 2 matches on this Raw.
Yeah, then you got also Triple H, DX, Dudley's, Jericho, APA, all those guys in action, Kurt Angle, you name it. That's just the matches. There would have been a shitload of segments throughout the night as well.
So yeah, basically, Mae Young does a splash on Crash Holly and then goes into labour.
And that somehow that's worse than this.
Yeah.
Not a fucking chance.
No.
Not a chance.
Come on, damn it. Not in a month of Sundays. Come on, folks.
Do you agree when I say the bad attitude era Raw blows away a great current era Raw?
I totally agree. It can't be. Like, they literally can't be any. They can't be worse. It's physically impossible.
Ron Weasley says, I'll take the worst episode of Raw from 1999 and the worst episode of Nitro from 2000 over this. Say what you want about Russo and the writing team from 99, but at least it was fun to watch. Today's product is so boring and stale and tries too hard to look like a real sport with analyst panels as pre-shows and showing the wrestlers walking in instead of a good theme song to hype up the crowd and pyro. They literally waste a minute or more on superstar walk-ins when they could replace that with a theme song and pyro. And people saying that 1999 didn't make any sense. You really think that writing today is any better? No way. I agree with what Ron Weasley's saying, but he's almost saying that as if he thinks that Raw in 1999 and Nitro in 2000 are like low standard errors or low standard years for those companies. Yeah, you could argue by 2000 Nitro's on the way out, but in 99 Raw was fucking overtaking WCW. Why are you saying I'll take the worst episode of Raw from 99 as if 99 was a rocky period for WWE? 99 was when WWE was beginning to, completely take over and leave WCW behind.
I think a lot of people argue 99's the best year in company history.
Yeah, 99's like the year where, WWF became number one.
It got the highest ratings.
So that's just weird. I understand the whole Nitro 2000 kind of gimmick because, WCW by 2000 people would say was a mess. But I don't understand. I'll take the worst Raw of 99 as if that's like a low standard era of Raw. Mental.
Yeah, I honestly, I just don't get where people are coming from with say. I mean, I've heard of Nitro 2000, even though it was actually good. See if you watch it. No, but that's the thing, right? See these opinions about Nitro, like 2000 Nitro, being like the worst period of wrestling ever. That might have been an actual real opinion in, like, say, 2007. But that's like 18 years ago. There's been so much fucking shit since then. I think if you say that in, like, the late 2000s, you might have a point.
Yeah, but not now.
Not now, because there's just been so much fucking shit.
Give me Nitro, give me WCW 2000 over any WWE in the last 15 years.
I remember, right, growing up, and when we had the December to Dismember DVD, right? And I remember, like, this, like, probably late 2000s, people buried it, and I remember thinking, oh, that was a bad pay-per-view. We've rewatched it since, but see, because wrestling has fallen off a fucking cliff, it's nowhere near the worst.
It's not?
But seeing the Ruthless Aggression, I'd say that December to Dismember is quite possibly easily the worst pay-per-view of the era.
Easily the worst Elimination Chamber match, but see now, there's been so many Elimination Chamber matches since that Elimination Chamber match is in the top half. See if you list all the Elimination Chamber matches, that Chamber match is in the top half of matches.
It's just ridiculous, man. People are.
But back when that first came out, people were shitting all over it because what we'd got previously was actually great, and what we got then was kind of shit.
It's just also people want to bury Russo for no fucking reason.
Anyway, Fusion Brick said the worst ever is a bit of an exaggeration, but it was pretty bad considering we're 1 month away from Mania. A1 Trizzy said it was actually good. Jimmy Uso saved it.
Jimmy Uso saved it.
Jake Egan says no, he didn't save anything. LOL. What are you talking about? Couple of jobber mid card guys that should be on the pre-show. Yeah, look, Jimmy Uso ain't saving shit. I mean,
he slapped Gunther. Well done. We thought we were getting Joe Hendry and they whipped out Jimmy.
Embarrassing. Bucky Ball Pro said, so you just started watching wrestling, got it. Is that to suggest that here, if you watched 20 years ago, you would have realised there was a load of shit Raws. What a fucking loser this guy is.
See, combined, we've literally got what?
A shitload of wrestling.
50 fucking years of... Yeah, I'm not proud of it. I'll admit it.
No, I'm not proud of it either, but here, we might not be 60 and 70, but we've watched a shitload of wrestling. We have.
Yep. Fucking absolutely.
Maybe not so much like international stuff, but when it comes to
the WWE,
yeah, and even WCW and ECW and TNA, we've watched quite a lot of it. You know, we have. So honestly, this guy's trying to suggest here, if you were watching wrestling 20 years ago, you wouldn't be making that comment.
Yeah.
No, if you were watching wrestling 20 years ago, you'd be standing by this comment even more, because you would actually realise how good wrestling used to be. You know, when the ratings were actually fucking better because more people watched it because it was actually a good show.
I just don't. It's a mental illness. See, people that think, like someone commented earlier about them arriving to the arena. Gives a fuck. Well, why do we need to see it every show?
Newport City Nightmare, obviously not. Did you ever watch the year 1995? Probably not. The build to WrestleMania. You know, I did watch 95 and I'm not going to pretend that it was great, but it was a better era when wrestling was still fucking a cool thing to watch and you had stars in 95 and you don't have any stars now, so listen, 95, you'd Undertaker, you'd Shawn Michaels, you'd Kevin Nash, you'd Razor Ramon, you'd Bret Hart. Give me all that shite over what we're getting now. The build to WrestleMania indeed has been underwhelming, but they got 3 weeks. This could very well ain't turning nothing around. But I suppose your entire channel is based on hating everything, so that wouldn't matter. Listen, we only hate everything because everything fucking sucks. If it was good, we wouldn't be hating it. Dead Walk says 1985 was just as bad in the sense that we're extremely goofy. Actually, I had some real bad episode. It didn't. The episode where they got a 1.8 rating when WCW wasn't even on in 1999. That episode had Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe in a tag team match. Yeah, we know what. I'd rather watch the Stooges versus the Mean Street Posse over self-proclaimed great wrestlers like Johnny Gargano.
Yo, it got a fucking 8.1 rating. What was so fuck? Well, it couldn't have been that bad.
Rock and Taker, oh, horrible Rock and Taker. Fuck off. Very true. The Raw from Monday wasn't great, but like you said, there's been a lot of work. Are these guys seriously trying to say that Raw that had Rock and Undertaker in the main event was worse than this?
No, it's ridiculous. I can't even tell you what the main event was.
I like the Stooges.
So that.
I like Pat Patterson and Briscoe grabbing McMahon coffee.
I know.
They weren't there to be fucking great technical wrestlers.
Exactly.
They were there to be two old guys to take fucking stunners.
I know.
And to fucking have McMahon's back. That was it. Mean Street Posse were just supposed to be a wee Shane McMahon's posse, some rich kids that hung around me in Connecticut to get their arse whooped.
Nothing more, nothing less.
By people that were feuding with Shane. These two teams weren't there to fucking be, you know, the next Kurt Angle. So, why are you expecting great matches? Well, that's shit.
That's all they want, though. They want everyone to come in and be good wrestlers. Who gives a fuck?
Ron Weasley. It was The Rock and Undertaker. Their presence in the main event alone is better than anything on WWE today. And the Mean Street Posse and Vince's Stooges were at least entertaining. You can't look at it by a wrestling standpoint. The Attitude Era was more about building angles, characters, and cliffhangers that made people want to tune in every week. The stories built towards pay-per-view. I just can't agree with people saying they were worse Raws in the Attitude Era. Even if Raw or Nitro had some bad writing near the end of the Attitude Era, I will take all the silly angles over boring wrestlers with no personality that we see today. Absolutely agree with Ron Weasley. Like he says, The Rock and Undertaker being in the main event alone means it's better than this current Raw, and the Mean Street Posse and Vince's Stooges, like we were alluding to a few minutes ago, were entertaining, and that's the reason they were there. They were there to be entertaining. They weren't there to be great wrestlers or to be serious threats or to be tag team champs. They were there to play like an entertaining role. They were in a backseat role essentially. You know, they were there guys to play off Shane McMahon, to play off Vince McMahon, and to take a beating.
Yeah, and it's not the sellout Rock, by the way. It's the Rock at the peakiest bar. Same with Taker.
Yeah, so I mean, can't just totally agree. Dead Walk says, objectively speaking, it was a bad wrestling match regardless of who was in the main event. We can sit here all we want and make fun of the finger poke of doom, but in retrospect, it did more to help the business than Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe teaming up against the Mean Street.
Right, let me just bury Dead Walker here, right?
What's the
what does fucking... I mean, I can't even remember a match that happened on Raw, but what does Penta against Ludwig Kaiser do for the business, by the way?
Yeah, does Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser, is that a bigger moment than the finger poke of doom?
Yeah.
So the only way... So the only way you can bury Pat Patterson in Briscoe, taking on the Mean Street Posse, is to state that it didn't have as much of an impact as the Finger Poke of Doom.
Here, see Patterson and Briscoe against Mean Street Posse, 8.1 rating. We're talking about it 26 years later. Are we going to be talking about anything that happened on that fucking Raw 26 years later?
No. Ron Weasley says, even a bad Taker and Rock match is more entertaining than whatever we have going on today, just because those two personalities are fun to watch. Austin hated his match with HBK at WrestleMania 14, but the crowd didn't care. They just wanted to see Stone Cold punch and stomp HBK. That feud between MSP and Vince's Stooges was at least a short series of matches just to laugh at how bad it was, and then to move back to the main story of the show. Now we get these long matches with wrestlers who have no personalities or gimmicks, boring TV. Trust me, I love great TV shows, all the legends, whether it be broadcast cable, HBO, Showtime, etc. With pro wrestling, I just need it to be fun, not this modern day attempt at trying to make it look like a real sport, and again, that's spot on the money.
Ron Weasley there, coming up with some fucking magic potions.
Truth bombs.
Aye, truth bombs. People just fucking... I just... That is it, though. There's no personalities, it's not fun, it is... fake fucking midgets portraying a real sport.
Yeah.
Well, look at this, right? Program for damage. Nope, I've seen far worse. This is the worst in recent memory. So, he's suggesting that the ones that he's seen far worse are ages ago.
I mean, the only ones I would... Up until recently, I would have agreed with that if he was talking about the COVID era. But... having actually remembered what was in the COVID era, there was actually some decent stuff. So, yeah, if this guy's alluding to the fact that the worst Raws are coming like a decade or longer ago, then absolutely
What in
not.
the deepest shade of thick? If you think that's the worst Raw ever, you clearly haven't seen many Raws. See if you combine our Raws together, right? We've seen, I mean, I think I've seen 75% of Raws. So if you factor us both in, we've seen a lot of fucking Raws in our time, man. A lot of Raws. Not proud of it.
Yeah.
Proud of some of them, by the way, but not all of them.
Definitely seen more Raws than I've missed. 100%.
Yep, every day of the week.
The Pen
No, because
and...
me and you started watching the network in like 97. We're currently on 03, right? You've watched the September 95 right through as well. So... and then you've got to factor in back in the day when we actually used to watch it.
Aye.
Honestly, like, the only years that I've not really watched is probably, like, 93, 94, and, like, 13 and 14. And, I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I've seen the full editions of, like, 04, 05, 06.
That would be the Raws that I am the least familiar with, I would say, are probably the mid-Ruthless Aggression Raws.
Yeah, but I'm still
for...
aware of the moments and shit. Just not the full shows.
I would say like 2004, 2005, 2006 Raws. That's probably the Raws that I'm less familiar with.
More of a SmackDown guy.
No, I'm less familiar with them as well, but I get your point.
Yeah, SmackDown, it was more like 07, wasn't it? That was SmackDown in the UK. They loved fucking showing SmackDown back then.
Yeah, I mean, just to claim that there was not worse Attitude Era Raws than this, there just wasn't.
If you're trying to tell me a Raw in 05 with like Cena, Triple H, Hogan, Michaels, I know Hogan wasn't there a lot, but he was still there, it's fucking worse than this, then you're on crack. I mean, McMahon is like running around still.
Could you imagine if Raw in 99 was producing shows worse than what we've seen in Glasgow? WCW wouldn't be a business.
Yeah.
Fucking fact.
Ted Turner would be fucking flying about in a carpet.
Fucking fact. Beer Guy, after Netflix stopped the broadcast, there was a dark match, CM Punk, Cody and Ray versus Judgment Day. Yeah, I did. I mentioned that. I think maybe off not in a video. Disgusting that we get dark matches like that, but on TV they give us trash.
Yeah, why in the fuck where is the TV companies? Why are Netflix not like, well, why are you giving the live? Yo, I'm not begrudging the people that have paid it, right? Like, the people in Glasgow and London, Brussels, Bologna, Barcelona, right? They should get these matches. But they should also get these matches while it's being filmed for TV, because they're going to be better matches. Netflix and the USA Network should be pressing WWE, be like, well, why are these guys working when the cameras are off? It's unacceptable.
Yeah, what is there for the TV audience?
Nothing.
Absolutely hee-haw. User says until next week, probably. Good point. King Flogger says, nope, there has been way worse Raws. Right, dumb question. Is it really? The only disappointing thing, in my opinion, is Drew McIntyre not showing up. I get Joe Henry not being there since schedules are different for two different companies, but Drew should have been at the show. Actually, scratch that. We don't even know what he could have done at the show. Maybe Drew did go to Glasgow, but it was just to see fans and stuff, which makes sense because even though he's a heel, Drew loves the Scottish fans.
Joe Hendry was in Glasgow.
No, but hold on. This fucking idiot is suggesting that the only disappointing thing about the show was Drew McIntyre not showing up. Really? So that's the only thing that could have made the show better. Drew McIntyre being on it.
Yo, make no mistake.
Oh, fuck The Rock. Oh, Cena mentioning The Rock. Cena engaging with Cody Rhodes. What's that? Rhea Ripley, Io Sky and Bianca Belair just repeating the same thing they've done 2 weeks in a row. Oh, that's all great. That's fucking amazing shit. The only disappointing thing is some Scottish guy not appearing.
You know, it's the same
Piss
with Joe Hendry. Even if Joe Hendry appeared, the show would have still been fucking awful. But Jimmy Uso coming out the way he did rubbed me the wrong way. It did. Fucking did.
Aye. The only disappointing... So, Penta, Braun Breaker, and ending with a Judgment Day beatdown, that wasn't pissed. That wasn't shite at all.
What's the worst Raw... What's these worst Raw episodes these people are coming out with? Honestly, they literally have been repeating what they've did in previous weeks and not changing anything. Yo, Seth Rollins' promo was basically, hey guys, go to London. I'll be there.
The only way a Raw from 99 could have been worse would be if it was like Naked Mideon versus Kurgan in a 2-hour Iron Man match.
I'd rather watch that.
I mean, I probably would, but I mean, I'm thinking the only way it could be worse, and that's it. And Naked Mideon was legit naked.
Yo, see these people commenting? They've never fucking watched it. They've just listened to fucking guys in dirt sheets talk about, oh, Vince Russo ruined the business.
Vince Russo would wipe the floor with fuck Triple H, man. Vince Russo has it. Vince Russo...
Yo, Triple H has got a writer team of like 500 strong, and what does he do? He just copy and paste the same shit he did in fucking Brussels. Look at what Russo and Ed Ferreira did. Just a 2-man fucking band.
Vince Russo's made a bigger impact on wrestling than Triple H. I don't care.
Especially with the fuck when he's holding a pen.
I don't care,
I know
man.
Triple H probably uses his fucking nose to write, but come on. Must be some thick ass
Yeah, maybe
sheets
that's
of
what he
paper.
does. Maybe Triple H just sticks 2 fucking pens up his nostrils, shakes his head a few times, and just goes with whatever's written on the paper. But this is shite. I'm not having people can say they want about Vince Russo, but at least the guys gave us great memorable moments. See, when you listen to Vince, he actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, but he doesn't do the wrestling. No one gives a fuck about the wrestling, right? Who cares about the wrestling?
Attitude Era, most best era of all time, most popular era of all time, had the shortest matches of any era.
See
yes
that?
or no?
No, I agree.
Attitude. Look at that show that you talked about, right? The Mae Young one with the hand. Look at how many matches were on that show, and look at the time limits.
The Rock had 2 matches.
But look at the times. The matches were all like 2, 3, 4 minutes.
See that 8.1 million rating that Briscoe and the Mean Street Posse got, right? See if you ask the amount of people that have stopped watching since then, what's their favourite stuff in wrestling? Not one of them's going to say a fucking match. They're going to mention moments. Oh, Austin the beer truck, Austin the Zamboni, the Corvette, Austin battering the...
Oh
Alliance.
no, Penta and Ludwig Kaiser going 20 minutes on Raw.
These are all a bunch of dumb bastards.
Aye.
Honestly. Not all yous, but the people that need to be told this.
Just the ones that think Attitude Era had worse Raws, because, I mean, there's no cure for that.
There's nothing that crushes my soul more is when you get the intro to Raw. It's one of these shite fuck. Was it Travis Scott that sings it? And then
these bums.
Michael Cole is like, that man tonight takes on Penta, and it's some fucking guy wearing a mask. I don't know who it is, wheeling his fucking taco up the fucking ramp. Come on, man.
Could be any guy that's hopped the border illegally, like, and we're supposed to fucking pretend it's a huge star. I mean, no.
Then Gunther comes in with his fucking...
See, unless it's Mr. America, we fucking send him back. We don't care.
Gunther comes in with his erect fucking nipple rockets.
Nipples.
The nipples. You know, come on, man. Crap.
I mean, I think the only thing worse than Michael Cole talking over that is Joe Testore talking over it, like...
I know. Oh.
Tonight, on the Blue Brand, Jimmy Uso.
It's like, do you know this story
Jim.
is stuck on an infinite loop of the fucking Benoit murder weekend? He can't get off it. What's there to say, guys? It's dead.
It's dead.
I guarantee you, right? We'll be sitting here asking the same questions about this Raw in London because they're just going to repeat the same shit. No, I swear to fuck, right? See if you want nuclear meltdown. See if Io Sky gets pushed in the face and Cena cuts the same promo. I don't think there might not even be a review. Because I will be fucking going through it.
Might just delete the channel if it happens, to be honest.
No, I swear to fuck, man.
Can it get worse than this?
No, it can. No, they're talking about Io Sky's getting disrespected. How about me and you? How about the hundreds of thousands watching at home because it's no longer fucking millions? How about us? Are we not getting disrespected?
No, I will.
Io Sky's not getting disrespected.
We're being disrespected, being made to sit through this shite, having to pretend it's good, having to pretend that it's not insulting our intelligence.
No, but is Cena and Cody going to end in a brawl, or is Cena going to come out and speak about how he's held these feelings in for 20 fucking years? You know what I mean? What murder? And then Cody Rhodes comes out, and then Cena, he's going to half walk to the back, half come back, then half walk again. And Triple H's got the audacity. Does it feel like WrestleMania season yet? Oh, I've got to give you some bad before I give you any good. Yeah, we're all out of bad. Can we get some fucking good, please?
Don't you know what a good show, isn't it? When was the last time we had one? Anyway, that's it, guys. Till next time. Peace.